Hey everybody, this is Steve with Smitty's Fly Box. It's September, so we're doing the Clouser Minnow classic fly pattern. I'm going to send enough materials to tie either with craft fur or the traditional bucktail. So we're going to start off here with just our saltwater hook, or this is actually a Daiichi 89 or 899, I believe, and we're using flat wax nylon thread. I like how it lays down flat for this fly. We can do smooth finishes. So we'll just start our thread and we'll come back about 2 eye lengths, and that's where we're going to tie in our dumbbell eyes. But before, I'm going to just lay down a little bit of Zappa gap on that thread base right there, and then I can just lay those eyes right on top. Okay, so we're just going to position those dumbbell eyes right on top, and we're going to use figure 8 wraps. So we'll go over the top this way, come back and figure 8. Let's do 7 or 8, 9, 10 of those, really good. And then come around underneath and really cinch those down, make a couple wraps in front and behind, and then we'll come back and figure 8 a couple times and really secure those eyes in place there. Alright, let's bring our thread back to just above the barb of the hook right in there, or the point. And if we need to, we can hit that one more time with a little bit of Zappa gap to keep those secured on there. Alright, now it's time for some bucktail. We're going to use just your traditional northern bucktail here. I'm going to get a small clump. You really just have to decide if you're going to tie a smaller one. We'll go a little sparser. Bigger one, we'll go a little thicker. I got a little too much there, and it takes a couple to get an idea of how much you want there. I'm not going to stack those up. I like the uneven hair actually for this fly. And what we're going to do is we want the tail to extend about 2.5 lengths back there. You can't really see hook lengths. I'm going to bring it back to about right there. And then we'll tie that down. Let's just cinch that down right there, just above really the point of the hook there. And let's just carefully secure that in up towards the eye there. Okay, now we're going to take our thread up underneath the eye, so now our thread is just in front. And let's just pinch that down right there, if we can hold it in place, and secure that front there. You might have a few strays. Now you need a nice pair of scissors here to get in there and trim all that off. We're going to try to get down as close as we can, just so it's not sticking out in front of the eye of the hook there. Give it 2 or 3 good trims there. Alright, so I'm just going to make a few wraps and cover that up so it's nice and smooth. And there's the top half right there. Now let's just take the fly, flip it over in our vise there. And let's start with 2 strands of flash. You could use crystal flash, Flashabou, whatever you got there. I like to take 2 strands and bring that right up on top, like so. Oops. Just so it secures in there. It's doubled over there, that flash, so it'll stick out and blend in with that hair and give it a little flash. Okay, now we're ready for the deer hair on the opposite side, so I'm going to use chartreuse on this particular one and try to get about the same amount as we did on the top. We get rid of any strays, and I'm going to measure those about the same length there. Alright, that looks pretty good. And let's just pinch it down in there and come around kind of loose, let that roll up on top, give it 2 or 3 really good tight turns, and again come in with our sharp scissors and try to snip that off. I like to just hold on to the thread there now as I carefully make a nice clean head. You will have a rather large head on this fly, but it's designed that way, like a kind of a bait fish nose or whatever. And I'm going to try to lay down some nice smooth wraps just to clean that up. And if you wanted to get fancy, you could take a little marker and color some of this white thread. We're not going to do it with this particular color, we'll just whip finish. And it's a good idea if you had some epoxy or some UV glue. I'm just going to go back with our Zap-A-Gap here that I'm going to include in the box. And put a nice little coat of super glue right along there and just let it soak down in there. Makes that fly pretty durable.